I don't know when this video will go up, but it will go up. And, well, it's gonna be a little bit harder to get this up, but I'll see what I can do. Anyway. So, I've been reading a lot about Nazis. What have you been doing? Oh yeah, it's kind of an awkward way to begin a conversation, right? So, I've just been reading about the Third Reich. What have you guys been up to, you know? But it's true. And the reason why I've been reading into that stuff is because I'm kind of doing a little bit of research, I guess, for something I'm working on. I'm writing, so I kind of need to know about that. But point is, I've been reading a lot about fascism and about the difference between fascism and what a Nazi would be. And it's actually quite interesting in that a Nazi and a fascist, although a Nazi is a fascist, they are two different ideas. And in some cases, very, very different. Like, Italian fascists and German Nazis are quite different. And back in the day when they were in their prime, I'm actually surprised that they weren't trying to kill each other. And I'm sure in some circumstances they were trying to kill each other. Because there are some profound differences, and the hilarity of it all is just looking back on the culture. A lot of German nationalism started because Italians were sort of snubbing their nose at them, right? And then, look what happened. And the interesting thing is, even though Germany was way more powerful than Italy at the time, they still snubbed their nose at them. And I'm sure it still pissed them off. So, we like to turn fascists, we like to turn Nazis into the one enemy, you know, the one people we can all agree that we hate. Because, you know, we accuse conservatives of being Nazis, you know, us liberal folk. And I'm sure as some right-wing nutbags like to call Obama a Nazi, or like to call, you know, he's Adolf Hitler or whatever. Hitler's always thrown around a lot. Nazis thrown around a lot. Truthfully, if there was a Nazi, they'd look at one side, they look at the other and say, fuck both of you guys. I'm not a liberal socialist. I'm not a goddamn conservative financial nut job. Goddamn, I'm neither of you people. And you'd be like, well, what the fuck are you? And they'd be like, I'm a goddamn Nazi. And the truth is, it's very independent. In fact, there's even some records of saying, a prominent German official would say something like, I'd rather be a Bolshevik than a capitalist. Oh yeah, German Nazis hated capitalism. They hated capitalism. They are National Socialists, thus Nazi, right? But that's what I find very interesting, because we're so on the left, so prone to call far-right people Nazis, yet conservatism and Nazism are not the same thing. They are radically different. And in fact, in the Night of Long Knives, conservative members of the SA were killed off because they were conservatives. So the interesting thing is, Nazis are complicated. And just like any other human being, they deserve to be studied in their own right. And we get all uncomfortable about it. We get all, well, they're racists. I don't want to be a racist. I don't want to study racists. I don't want to go near racists. You have to push that aside. Being open-minded doesn't have limits. It's a state of mind. And it's a state of mind that allows anything to be heard. It doesn't mean you have to accept it. It just means you have to try to understand it. And that includes believing in stuff like the master race, or that includes people who believe in that. That includes people who believe non-Christians should be eradicated. And I'm really starting to understand you really have to give people a chance and listen to them. Even if they're psycho, you have to give them their peace. Now what happens after that, I'm sure I'll differ with a large group of people, as I'm a cynical bastard, and typically I hold grudges, and if someone comes off like they're full of shit, and eventually I find out that they are full of shit, well, I'm quite, let's just say, they don't really get a second chance. But the point is, you have to try and listen to people. And what I'm really starting to dislike and I'm really starting to dislike it to this society, is as soon as you start looking into these things, people accuse you of taking on their familiarity. People accuse you of being a Nazi if you're reading a book about Nazis. People accuse you of being a Satanist if you're reading a book like the Satanic Verses, which, by the way, I believe is a Muslim book, so people are fucking stupid. And that's the real problem. Association. Guilty by association. And that's what leads to horrible things. That's what leads societies to go down these tremendous paths of destruction, like the fascists led them. It's when you really, really, really don't want to listen to the other guy that most of the problems in the world start happening. So the next time you want to listen to someone's argument, and someone accuses you of being a Nazi, or someone accuses you of being a racist because you just wanted to hear someone out, give them the middle finger. Because I can't tell you how many times that's happened to me, where someone gave me a weird glance because I was willing to listen to someone, as if listening to someone ever did any harm. I think history proves the contrary is quite true.